Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Pros podcast by Investor Fuel, the nation's premier real estate mastermind. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show we have Valentina Brega. Valentina came to the U.S. in 2018 with only $400 in her pocket and is now leading a successful business helping real estate investors scale their companies and get back their time. She has impacted hundreds of entrepreneurs, and we'll walk us step by step how you can do that too during the show. Valentina, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Before we hopped on here, I mentioned I always like to get folks' backstory, and you have a particularly inspirational backstory. Tell us about that.
It sounds inspirational now, but it was so scary when I was going through that. So yeah, I moved to the United States in 2018. We were living in Europe back then, in Sweden. I'm not originally from Sweden, but I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm originally from Moldova. My daughter was born in Sweden, so we thought this was going to be our forever home. And then when my daughter was 2 months old, we found out that we have this opportunity to come to the United States because we won the green card lottery, which is something we have been applying for every single year, and every single year was rejection. I mean, not rejection, it's just we were not selected. It is literally like a lottery. And I was so frustrated at the time. I was like, why is this a lottery? Why is this not merit-based? Because I'm educated. I speak the language. I do this, right? Like, I really want to come to the United States, but, they wanted to keep it fair. So but when I was in Sweden, that's when I opened the email and I'm like, wait, so this looks different than all the other emails before. So, and then I say there, congratulations, you were selected. And I tell my husband, what do we do? Do we go to the United States? Do we stay here? Like, I just started learning Swedish, all of that. And he said, we know what we can have in Europe. Let's try our luck in the United States. So, okay, and we said, we're going to give ourselves 1 year to see if we like it. If we like it, great. If not, we can always come back. Like, what's the risk? Okay, so that's what we decided to do. We pack our bags. It took about a year to put together all the documents, everything. So when my daughter was 1 year old, we come to the United States. We don't have a house. We don't have a car. We don't have insurance. The hardest thing about coming to the US is you have no credit history because we don't have that in Europe, right? No insurance. So nobody could lend us anything. No one could rent us a house. It was very, very stressful. And no jobs. So on top of that, okay, I said we had some money put aside to get us started in the United States. And then we come here and we cannot access our funds from home at all.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So I called the bank in Sweden. I said, hey, we can't access that. They said, oh, yeah, you should have notified us that you're going to access it from being outside of the country. You need to come back here, present yourself in person. I lose my green card if I do that. I can't do this. So we had to rely, right? Literally, the only cash we had back then was $400 in our pocket. It's not like we had millions in our bank, but it was something to get us started. So it's like, we're going to make it work. I said, I'm going to get a job. We don't have a car, right? But walking distance from us was a Walmart. Across the street from Walmart was a Target. Inside Walmart, there's a Subway. Inside a Target, there's Starbucks. I said, there's 4 potential places that I can be employed. Okay. And I said, give me 3 months and I will run that place. That's what I don't care what I do. I will mop the floors, but give me 3 months and I will be a manager. I will be running that place. So, but I was applying for jobs, everything. So I saw this opportunity when I was applying for jobs of working for a real estate wholesaling company, and it was work from home. This was a miracle because I didn't have a car at the time, right? So, and we luckily we had some relatives who we stayed with just to get us started, but it was a really, really rough beginning. But that real estate company that employed me, I am forever grateful to them. It opened opportunities to me more than I would have even imagined. Like this is this is amazing. We're truly living the American dream because of that one good decision that I applied to work for real estate. Not only did I understand about real estate wholesaling, the whole process, but then I brought so much value to real estate investors. I made millions of dollars to the company that I was working for, and then it got me to now having my own company. So stressful at the time, but it grew me as a person like nothing else before.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Talk a bit about the emotions and emotional strain that you felt. I mean, I moved from San Antonio to Dallas, Texas recently, and I don't have family in Texas. I have family in the East Coast. And I was not in the same dire straits. It was just me, and it was hard, right? And so it took me about, now, fortunately, we have a really good job market out here, but it still took me about 2 weeks to get employed. And I was stressing because, similar to you, I had a finite amount of money. The thoughts that I was thinking, because I came up here to do real estate wholesale, interesting story, right? I knew an investor out here. The thoughts that I was thinking were like, I have to do this. I have no other option. And it really felt like life and death. As crazy, a little bit of an exaggeration, but it really felt that way.
I completely agree with you, and I think that's the reason why we made it work, because my mind was focused on finding something that works. So there's this book called The Entrepreneur Edge, or not Entrepreneur, The Immigrant Edge. I think it's Immigrant Edge or Advantage. But the idea is that when you are an immigrant, when you're looking for opportunities, you see opportunities. So my mindset back then was like, I came to the United States. This is the land of opportunities. It's all around me. I just got to see it. I just got to find it. I need to recognize that opportunity. And because my mind was primed and focused, it's kind of like when you think about red cars, you see red cars everywhere.
Yep.
It's the same thing with opportunities. When you think you're looking for opportunities, you see them everywhere, and you treat everything as such. So I think that's what kind of made you successful and what got me where I am, because like you were saying, like, I got to make it work. That's it. Like, this is it, It's swim or sink. So
It's exactly right. Sink or swim, and it was terrifying. I can only imagine how much more heightened it was in your scenario with a child and not being able to go back home and bank accounts. It's truly terrifying. But God bless you, Valentina. You made it. I wanted to, and before we hopped on here, I mentioned, multiple languages, and I've traveled abroad. I got a passport recently. I really hadn't had a passport in over like a decade, but I got a passport about a year and a half ago, and I traveled abroad, Spanish speaking country, and it really opened my eyes on a way that I still don't fully understand or comprehend, because I came back here and I recognized that my actual way of thinking had changed. I still can't quite enunciate it and explain it, but in the real estate deals that I've done since then, since I went abroad in 2023, I've recognized my Spanish has come in handy. Me interacting with different cultures, different, immigrants, right, has improved. And do you feel like it was similar to me, like it was a tremendous advantage, even though, you might not have seen it in that way?
Yes, absolutely. I think studying foreign languages always is a good idea because it changes your perspectives, it broadens your mindset. It's amazing. But also what it does for me is it helps me connect with people from different backgrounds. And I
Yeah.
think because when I worked for the real estate company, what I did, my first job was qualifying leads over the phone. And as you know, in real estate investing, we're talking to people who have distress, who are going through something, right? And I come from a place that I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm from Moldova originally, which is the least visited country in Europe. It's not well known. It's not the richest country, anything like that.
Yeah.
So I come from a place where I saw distress and I could connect with people here. And speaking multiple languages also helped me travel around, being just recognizing different traits in people. And I think I'm a very good people reader. And it helped me because I traveled, because I can communicate with people. And foreign languages came so handy to me when I was on the phone because I spoke with someone in Russian. I spoke with someone in Romanian, which is my native language. Never spoke with anyone in German, but and I understand Spanish very well because it's it's a Romance language like my
Yeah.
native language, Romanian. So I could assist them, and yeah, it was great.
It's really an unbelievable because for me, when I'm talking in Spanish, I always say this, if you want to learn how to do something, go to where you have no other choice. Because
Yes.
just like your story is a heightened version of mine, and I'm trying to get to your point, Valentina, but I need some deeds in my name first. But when I was learning Spanish, when I'm in Santo Domingo and I have no other option because I'm not in Punta Cana, I'm not in a tourist.
Yes.
It's you speak Spanish or you're not going to get to where you need to go,
Or
Your
you starve.
5G, yeah, your 5G internet, which you have in the United States, everybody knows 5G, or even if you have slower 3G, you can still connect and Google Translate. They have Claro, so
Mm,
it's not even, you don't, you have to learn Spanish. So
yeah.
I discovered this, right? And then coming back here, when I'm getting on the phones and I find myself sometimes even losing my Spanish because I'm not around it every day, I realize it's the best way, as frightening as it is, it's sink or swim, it's submersion. Valentina, how did some of these conversations go for you? You're brand new, first couple days in the job, you're talking to screening leads. I imagine this is kind of overwhelming, multiple languages. How did these first couple deals go down for you?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, so let me start by saying that I was not very good on the phone when I started out because I was thinking that it was probably imposter syndrome. I was probably feeling like I'm the immigrant. Like, how can I help someone here in the United States? It was just a different mindset. And that's actually one of the things that I really, really like in the US is that people don't really care where you're from. They don't really care. Like, as long as you deliver value, I did not feel like an outsider, but my mindset back then was different because I felt like it would be an us versus you, but it was not the case at all. Like I was very well integrated into with the company I was working with, and even with the people on the phone. But the first couple of conversations I had were very stressful. But then I understood like they're just people. They're just people who, and all of us have issues we have in life. Like there's no such thing as a perfect life. There's all of us are humans, so I need to find that humanity, that human element, and connect to them. So it got better and better very fast. It got better within a week, 2 weeks, and so on. But the conversations that I had was, I like scripts, and we used to have a script. I like scripts, but I don't love them.
Mm.
And the reason I don't love scripts is because they kind of put you in a box. And even though I do have a script that worked for me, what I say is like, you kind of have to know the guidelines of the script, but then active listening is going to give you maybe like read between the lines or listen carefully what the person is trying to say, like this little subtleties, and that's what made the difference on the conversation. So I'll give you an example for instance, right? Let's say I'm talking to a seller on the phone. They have distress, and they say something like, "No one's giving me what I want. If you're gonna buy my house cheap, don't even bother." A lot of people would be like, "Oh, no worries, we're gonna give you a good offer," or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But that's not. How do you know what a good offer is to that seller, right? So
Yeah.
instead of you being defensive, I want to understand, like, there's a reason that seller is saying that. Meaning, he probably got bad offers before from someone else. He's probably tired of getting bad offers. He probably thinks I'm just like anyone else. So how do I set myself apart? So if I say that, no worries, I'm going to give you a good offer, he will think like, well, that's what everyone says. And then I hit him with a lowball offer, and he's going to be like, you're just a liar, right? So instead of that, I'm like, well, I say something like, well, it sounds like you already spoke with some people who kind of made you a bad offer. Am I hearing that right? Is that what's happening here? Yeah, I'm tired of people lowballing me and all of that stuff. Okay, I completely understand. Look, I don't know anything about your house yet, but I would love to learn more about the property and make you an offer, and hopefully that makes sense to you, but I don't want to lowball you. That's not my intention. To be honest, I want to win your business. I'll be honest. If you're going to sell the house, I want you to sell it to me. So it's in my best interest to give you a good offer. Now, when you say lowball, what did other people give you? Okay.
I'm on the edge of my
giving you-
seat.
What was that?
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah, but like this is kind of like how you connect with them. It's like, and that's, look, I'll be honest, and you change your tonality. It's like, I'll be honest. Look, if you're gonna sell the house, I want you to sell it to me. You know what I mean, Mr. Seller? So look, I want to give you a good offer. That's my intention. Now let's talk about this. What do you mean by lowball? Like, what did they give you? They gave me 100K. Okay, well, how much were you hoping to get? At least 150. Okay, did they say why they only give you 100? Like, what's happening? Does the house need some work? Like, what is? And then you naturally go into the condition of the property, and they already trust you because you are on their side. Like, they feel heard, they feel understood. So I think that's I don't know if I digressed from the topic, but you asked me about how the conversations went with the prospects.
Yeah.
This is what made the difference for me, and that's what I train my team on, and how to handle those conversations.
Valentina, what was your journey like with this company? Because, what's mind blowing to me is you're like, it took me some time. Well, it was 2 weeks, so it was fast. It was fast. For some people, it takes them 3 months just to get, a job. And you were like, I'll work at Subway, I'll work at Target, I'll work at Walmart. But I just happened to, by divine intervention, get an opportunity, and I ran with it. So 2 weeks in, you're getting the swing of things. Maybe you're getting better traction, getting some deals, but you ended up growing with this company, and you did millions of dollars with them. So what was that process like, both from a learning perspective, learning about real estate, and then also maybe a mindset coming from, I'll manage a Subway to I can have, a real estate empire?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah. So I started like answering the phones, right? Qualifying leads over the phone. And then there was a team that I was working with, and I knew nothing about real estate, and I mean absolutely nada, like nothing, right? The first couple of conversations when people said like, "What's the ballpark?" I was thinking, what is ballpark? I thought it was a park where people play ball, really, and I really thought there was a park next to the house where people play ball. Like that.
I love this.
That's how green I was in real estate, like the lingo. I speak English, I speak it fluently, but when it comes to different lingo, it's like I was like completely green. So, but I had this hunger, and I wanted to be the best employee this company has ever had. So I learned everything about real estate. Our calls were recorded. I went to our acquisition rep, who was a very good closer, and I said, analyze this call, give me feedback. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? So he kind of gave me feedback. And over time, my numbers were the highest than anyone else's in my department. So they completely let go of everyone in the department, and I was only me left. That was 3 months in. And they said, you hire your own team. Your numbers are good. You're doing great. You have the best performance here. You hire your team. You train them on everything you can do, So that's what I did. So 3 months into this job, I was promoted to lead manager. I hired 2 local people, and then I hired virtual assistants from overseas. At that time, I had no idea who virtual assistants were, but I hired them. And I'm like, very good, talented people, great English, much more affordable. That's awesome. So 3 months later, because our numbers were so good, I was promoted to sales director. Not only was I supervising the lead team, but I was also supervising the acquisition rep. It's kind of looking through the numbers, making sure that this is the best exit strategy for the property. And so we made $9 million I was with the company 3 years. We made over $9 million just for that department that I was supervising.
So at this point in time, did you decide you got it to $9 million? At this point in time, are you looking at, I'm going to go do this for myself? Were you thinking, okay, let me see, is there any more room for growth? Because I think a lot of people, first of all, a lot of people wouldn't do it in 3 years. They would do it in 25 years, right? They would take multiple degrees and, be years and years and years, and maybe promotion, demotion, maybe a movement to laterally. But you did it. You did it as fast as you possibly could, even if it might have not been fast enough personally. But if it's to everyone else, it was super fast. When you got to that top point, what were you thinking? And what were some of the thoughts and emotions that you were experiencing?
Yeah. So again, come back to the mindset that I'm here for the opportunities. And United States is still the land of opportunities. Everyone who tells you different, they're lying. Like, I know there's a ton of opportunities. You don't have to have a college degree to make money in the United States. It doesn't matter. Like, this is what I like this country. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, if you have if you were in jail, if it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you have, this is the best place to actually do something, provide value, and be rewarded for that. So. I think so. I still do think so. So what helped me here was I also have this also mindset. It's to be successful, you need 33% is your idea, 33% is the action, and 34% is luck. But luck means being present, doing this, trying and failing fast, learning more, and going. Like, it means not stopping. A lot of people think luck is just having the opportunity being handed to you. It's not. It's you trying multiple things. Like I said, failing fast, try again, get up again, tweak the numbers, and all of that. So I think that's what that's what probably got me to the journey that I am, because I was not afraid to fail fast. And when I saw the results, I was keeping an eye on the numbers, and I was tweaking the numbers as I was going. And that's why so many people came to me and said, hey, can you teach my team everything? Can you teach my team everything you're teaching your team? And that's when I said, I could, and I did some consulting, but then I said, I can find someone like me. I know what it's like being non-American, working on the American market, what kind of mindset shifts we have to go through. So I know how I can find these people, train them on everything I know, and then you have your own person in-house. And people really liked it. And I'm still very, very good friends with the company I worked with, and they get virtual assistants from me. And I'm just so grateful. Like, we're really in amazing relationships. And if I can help them, I help them anytime. If they help me with advice and mentorship, and they always do that as well. But it always comes back to that, well, maybe you were at the right time in the right place. But to be in the right time in the right place, you have to take action. You have to be present. You have to talk about what you're doing. Yep. And it's the same in real estate. I want to get more deals. Well, talk about this. When you go to church, talk about what you do. You never know how somebody knows somebody who has a house they may want to sell, and you're the first person they think about. So be omnipresent. Be present on social media. Tell people, let people know that this is what you can do for others. That's
I
it.
completely agree, Valentina. I call it being a networking junkie, guerrilla networking fanatic. Like, you have to just be that person. And for most Americans, it's maybe unusual, because in growing up in school, you're taught to follow instructions and you're taught to get a job, and
Hmm.
self-promotion seems like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Make a YouTube video? But there's other ways, and B, that YouTube video, I was talking to a guy yesterday who's one of the top real estate brokers in Arkansas. And he specifically got big on YouTube. In fact, there really wasn't anybody who was doing what he was doing, which was talking about relocating from other US states to Arkansas, which is wild notion because that's not like relocating to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or Malibu, California. It's Arkansas. A lot of people can't even name a major city in Arkansas. So fanatical networking, which you've clearly done well. I want to pivot a bit here, Valentina. Coaching and multifamily syndication, which we talked about before the show. I know that you're involved in both of these spaces. How's the coaching? How did the coaching come about?
Yeah, so coaching came about when I had good results in with a real estate company, and I was part of a mastermind, and that's why I think masterminds are so important. And they were like because people talk, people share value, people say, "Hey, who do you know who can do this? How do you?" So just if you're part of a mastermind, for example, if you provide good value to one person, then that person will recommend you to someone else, or your name will come up in discussions. And that's how I got connected to doing some coaching. It just got to a point where I wanted to do something that doesn't require too much of my active time, and I wanted to scale it because if I coach it, that means it still relies on my time, and my time is limited, right?
Yep.
So that's why I pivoted from it, but I really enjoyed. I actually still do. It's called laser coaching for that community. I still do laser coaching if people have any questions, which I really, really enjoy sharing what's working and hearing other success stories and then relaying the success stories to them. But that's kind of how it started, being part of communities and delivering value.
As you're talking about this, I'm thinking about this. Tell me what you think. We would probably have to talk about this more after the podcast, but I would love to see there be some type of community specifically for real estate investors who are coming from other countries or
Ooh.
maybe who have family in other countries, because that element is so like intrinsic to the American story, but also it makes you a better real estate investor. Have you heard of anything like this?
I have not, but that sounds like a great idea. This is what really sets you apart, could set you apart, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
very niche down, but it also unites people because they go through the same thing. It's like they have something in common, and oh, I think that's a good idea.
I was just what got me into real estate. What got me into real estate was I went to a Texas RIA event, and there was a woman with a heavy accent who was an immigrant herself who got successful in real estate, knocking doors. And I thought, like, similar to your story, I was like, man, what am I doing? If she's doing this, I have to be at least doing 80% of what she's doing.
Hmm.
And so that story, that mentality, I just think there's so much there. But pivoting again, multifamily syndication. So you went from wholesaling to coaching. Now you're at a point where you're able to participate in multifamily syndication. How has that been going? And how did you get into this space?
Again, I got into the space by connecting with people, by being a networker. And I just told, like, I would like to I said, I would like to invest in real estate, but because I have my company, I don't have time to do wholesaling, or I don't have time to do flipping, and honestly, it's like, it's not something that I would have, uh, maybe been the best of. Like, I know what my strengths are is connecting with people and working with people. So I said, but I would still like to have real estate work for me because most rich people, they make a lot of money through real estate, right? I mean, that's a known fact. So like, how can I do that? And then someone said, you should invest in syndications. Think about being a limited partner. It's like, well, what does that mean? How does that work? And they told us about, you get an apartment complexes, how they renovate them. They walked me through the whole process. And I said, well, this is great. It's a lot of money to invest up front, but this sounds great. So, but if you know the people you work with and you see their previous work and you trust them, and so far for us, it has been going really well. We're about to invest in one more project soon, and it's, yeah, we've been. This is kind of like what I like to do is it's a more passive income. It's definitely passive income, but it still have real estate working for me. So there's so many ways you can invest in real estate.
There
That's what
is.
I like about it.
Do you see, Valentina, maybe a prototype for a career path for a real estate investor? Let's say someone's a teacher in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
or they're working for the government, or they're in a different sales career, but not in real estate, and they want to get into real estate and they don't know how. Should I get a real estate license? What do I do? Do I wholesale? Do I fix and flip? Do I give a buddy money who's doing it because he needs lenders or investors? What do you think? What do you think is a prototype for a career in real estate for someone on the outside?
Yeah, I met so many people who have different backgrounds. I know a teacher who is a millionaire now, and she has an amazing rental portfolio, and she's in Oklahoma. So I know people who are engineers, left their W-2 jobs. I mean, different pathways, and they all like want to do real estate. But I know so many cases. But this is what I would say. You can read every book out there. You can watch everything out there, but unless you actually do it, it will not be as effective. Like the actually doing it is going to be the best teacher ever. But also, you want to minimize the risk. So I would say, don't do it alone. Find a group of people who understand you, who support you. Join a mastermind, join a community. Have somebody hold your hand, or at least have somebody who, if you think about video games, right? Find somebody who already slayed this dragon and they're already moving to the next level, and you're still stuck at level 1. Find someone who told you how they slayed this dragon. Like, this is what I did. This is how it worked for me. So you don't have to have those trial and errors because, yeah, you will learn, but it can be a very costly mistake. It could probably be a lot more expensive learning yourself than just joining a community where people encourage you and hold your hand and support you. That's what I would say.
This is true, Valentina. To your point, for folks who are in a job where it's very stable, very secure, but they don't have perhaps the ability to scale, or they may feel stuck in a way, real estate does give you, in a sense, leverage. But at the same point in time, that comes with risk, right? So you could open up a lemonade stand and you're not going to get sued, right? Or you could go be a real estate agent part-time, in which case you have to worry, in Texas about the Deceptive Trade Practices Act. And so now it's all these different things. But I agree with you, and I echo your sentiment. The best thing to do, and how I started, is through a RIA, right? And people have mixed feelings, but I love RIAs. Get into a group, a mastermind, a RIA, talk to people, and find someone who you connect with, who connects with you, and get your first deal.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I like about people in the United States, and what I found shocking for me when I moved here is because people here don't gatekeep. Like, if I go to someone and I'm like, I love what you're doing. How are you doing this? People will share. Maybe I'm lucky and I'm part of, being surrounded by wonderful people. But I think just overall, where I'm from, people would hold their cards close to their chest. But here it's like, just tell me what you need. Like, there's so much information out there. And they gladly connect you with someone, or tell you how, what worked for them, or get on a call with you on Zoom. It's amazing. The mentality of abundance that you have here in the United States is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you feel like maybe you're shy to approach someone, just think about this. I mean it with 100%. There is a mentality of abundance in the United States. So if you have a question, ask, because there will be someone who can help you with this, and they're very happy to do so.
Valentina, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can find me on social media. I actually have a podcast as well. It's called Built with VAs, if anybody wants to know how to work with VAs. But I'm on YouTube under my name, Valentina Brega, Instagram, my name, Facebook, or if you want to go to my company, it's hiretrainva.com. Like, we hire and we train VAs. And also, if you don't mind, I want to give something back to your audience, to your listeners. I can put together the script that I used to generate the $9 million, and I can put together some other resources that I found useful, and I will put them under hiretrainva.com/ I don't know, you tell me what should be the /, maybe this podcast name, or because I'll make it. But what do you think it should be?
Man, I don't have the jurisdiction to make this call. I got to get with my boss and my people over here. They'll probably get mad at me if I say anything. But what's a safe thing that we can say? It's for is it for coaching? Yeah.
It is for real estate investors. Yes, it's just I'm giving them a lot of value. Like I said, like
Let's
tasks
do
they can delegate.
let's do investors. That'll be safe. That'll be for
Love
everybody.
it.
So where did
Love
they
it.
go to, Valentina?
So it's hiretrainva.com/investors.
You heard it here, folks. So, I want to end with this. Valentina is really an exemplification of the American dream. And for folks who feel like, they're stuck or feel like, real estate is an unattainable career path, she came here with $400 in her pocket, unable to access funds in her country of origin, was willing to work odd jobs, stumbled into real estate, and now, multiple seven-figure empire. Truly an inspirational story. Valentina, thank you for your time today on the show.
Thank you so much. Always great to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.